Well, first thing I did is I went home and I got stinking drunk. I got so drunk. I got stinking drunk by myself, and I was just, and then I went in the next day and I was a mess, and then I saw the kid, and the next day, a kid looks like a kind of like a prune, with a little silly hat on it, and then when you come back the next day, oh my God, there's this smooth kid, smiling kid at you, and I almost fainted. Like I was so relieved, but the damage was already done.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
damage was already done, and I had to go see somebody, and but really it was a lot of work on my part to, I'm pretty mentally strong, so I basically, even though I was seeing somebody and I can understand what they were doing, and not to say that I'm the end all to know all about what goes on in a person's mind in particular times, but I know myself very well, and
Mhm.
I appreciated what the psychologist was trying to tell me and what they were doing. And you're right, but it's like an awakening. You just have to experience it yourself, and you just, and I did, and that's exactly what I did. I said, look, this is an emotion. This is something that you created, and you have to let that go. And I did let it go, and I was able to come back, but it took me a couple of months. It
And
took me a couple of months.
I can hear that, and I think it actually brings to my mind the importance of properly preparing parents. And I mean this because they don't. There were so many things that I wasn't prepared for, and I would say that I was maybe more prepared than most. And it drove people. I drove people crazy because I wanted to know every single detail of things I hadn't experienced from people who had experienced it. And they go, "Oh, that's a lot. I don't know if you should know that." And I go, "No, no, I want to know." Um, what what freaks people out is my kids, my daughters were born cesarean. They had to be because we had a medical complication. One of the main arteries wasn't wrapped up in the umbilical the way it needed to be, and if it would have been severe, they'd have had 3 minutes to save their lives. And we were lucky. We made it. We made it up to about 8 months. I think it was 8 months on the day, and then did a cesarean. They would have freaked out if they would have known because they block you off and they won't let you observe. And that's
Yeah,
fine for most people. That's what they need. Me, I'm the opposite. The more I know,
yeah,
the better I am. I'm watching the reflection in the chrome around the light.
wow,
I watched the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah. And that was calming for me. But I know that it wouldn't have been for most people. The other
Yeah.
thing that was calming for me is I actually have memory of when I was born, and I remember the doctor panicked. Actually, he was rubbing me, and I wasn't breathing, and so then he flipped me upside down and smacked me. I still remember that, and I remember breathing, and I remember him like, "You got a baby girl." It was this whole thing, right? But anyway, um, any thoughts you would like to share with people so before we hop off the podcast here that you think are important to know as a father, as a parent? Any thoughts you want to share with me or to the audience that stand out to you?
Well, I would say probably the biggest thing for me, I can only speak for me, is that we want to give this child that we've decided very consciously to bring into the world. But whether or not it was what we refer to as accidents or what, it matters not. You've decided that this child is going to be a part of your world,
Mhm.
and take the time, be present. I'm sure every person you've had on a podcast has probably said this very same thing, is that if you want to raise good, healthy, mentally strong children, give them the room to have fun, give them the room to fail, and don't don't allow them to live in an environment of fear or where they feel that they need to survive. Teach them good common sense. They'll get it by
Mhm.
watching you. Just as you said, they're going to watch you. You are probably the biggest thing out there.